Esselamu Aleyküm ve Rahmetullah. Euzu billahi mineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahümme ehdina fîmen hedeyt ve afina fîmen afeyt ve tevellena fîmen tevelleyt ve barik lena fîmâ a'tayt ve qina şerre mâ kadayt. فإنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك إنه لا يذل من واليت ولا يعز من عاديت تباركت ربنا وتعاليت فلك الحمد على ما قضيت نستغفرك اللهم ونتوب إليك اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وإتباعه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. We were talking about the doubts and suspicions and this kind of problems, a kind of emotional, psychological problems that we may be facing in our faith, belief-related matters, and also in our relationship with our Creator in worship activities, worshiping Him while we are performing our for example, fastings and prayings and doing other religious duties. Some doubts may come to our heart. Any kind of subject which is related to belief, if we try to understand this matter, the reality of belief and the content of the meaning of our religious performances, we have to remember in order to really understand the nature of the things that we are experiencing, the nature of the process of practicing our belief. We have to remember this point, that human beings have free will. Our friends who follow these discussions, they say, you keep repeating the importance of free will. Yes, it is worth to me, of course, as much as I understand, it is worth repeating it. Why? When we forget that we have always free will to practice, which need these two options, we may fall into many misconceptions, many misunderstandings. That is very human. We have to be careful that how am I going to deal with this free will? Of course, we are choosing. Our subject is not that how am I going to practice my free will, as far as this problem of doubts may occur to the hearts of every human beings, especially to the believers. This is a very special case for the believers, that believers always really suffer, from excuse me, this one. I had to take something out. Disturbs my attention. Okay. Believers are mostly suffering from doubts, suspicions about their belief and activities. Of course, the other people also have lots of suspicions in their life, that they have even developed certain illnesses, psychological problems, let's call it. It is very human, because every human being must remember that we have free will, and the free will has always two options, and we have to choose one of them. But one of these two options always represent the truth, the reality, the real existence. The other represents, it is false alternative, false, baseless counterparts. So one of them is 100% true, the other one is 100% wrong. So what does it mean? This problem of, as the author says here, heart, it means if it is something physical, I understand. For example, if a person is running a shop, he may not be really sure whether he will make some profit out of it, or if the business is going to work or not, be useful for him. He may have doubts, and this is reality, but this is something to do with physical side of our existence. How about spiritual side of our existence? That is more subtle. It needs more close attention. What is going on in my spiritual world? It is not countable like, oh no, I did this business, I invested X amount of money, and I received it back X plus something amount. Is it worth it? Or X minus something? Oh, the business is really going down. It is easier to deal with. How about psychological problems that we say, what will happen to me if I get, for example, married with this person? What will happen to me? So lots of imaginations, maybe real, maybe just based on imaginations. So these are unknown future expectations. These are also not countable as, or physical existence as we can experience right now and count it, like counting the money, the invested money and income as a result of our investments. These are different. When it comes to belief matters, of course, alternative of our belief must accompany the belief. Alternative of, for example, when I perform my prayer, always I have a feeling that this prayer was accepted, God willing, and it accompanies immediately next to it, it may not be. Am I sincere? How can I weigh? How can I value my sincerity? Impossible. By claiming that I am sincerely praying is nothing more than a claim. So anytime, whatever comes to our mind, whatever we conclude about our belief, it is the nature of the creation, the way we are created. It will always have its own counterpart, which accompanies the opposite side. Now, of course, we have to be careful how are we are going to deal with this process of dubious situation. What am I going to do? No. Now we talked about the question at the beginning of first aspect, force wound. It means the wound of the heart, not physical wound. So the author continues and continues its analysis and tries to help us. Oh, anxious men, suffering from scruples, suspicion, doubt, or technical term we mentioned last time, I'll just mention it, and past obsessive compulsive disorder. Everybody we said has this, all the psychologists say. To a certain extent, everybody has this kind of doubts, obsessions. So the author says, just a minute, don't be alarmed here. Don't be alarmed. Don't panic. Because what comes to your mind is not abuse, a contradicting your conclusion as far as the belief matter is concerned. Definitely will accompany with the opposite alternative option, which is, I believe in God, but it is not a physical things that I can count. 1, 2, 3, or 5 is more than 3. I cannot make that sure. Although it has its own ambiguity, ambiguous sides as well. That is not our subject here. Now, when it comes this option, which is inevitable, it will come. And don't panic. What comes to your mind is not abuse, but something imaginary. It means not real existence. Abuse means, when I say, of course, this must be created by the one who created the whole universe, and he is the Rabbul Alameen, the Lord of the whole universe. I am sure, but how can you make sure? Accompanied it may not be. Accompanied this idea. Well, this accompanying alternative idea is very well according to the order of the creation of this universe, according to the order of human beings. So heart, it means the center of our consciousness, represents our way of thinking and the conviction, every kind of human side of us, not physical side, it is not palpable ones. So we cannot say that, oh, this is what I got, or this is real. For example, I have my pencil. I cannot say for any reason that I don't have a pencil. It is in front of in my hand. I am seeing it. I'm physically experiencing it. Belief matters is not like this. My relationship with my creator is not that physically experiential side of my interaction with the rest of the world. So that is imaginary. That's not real. It is inevitable to come. We shouldn't really worry about it. So the author continues, and like to imagine unbelief is not unbelief. Like saying that the universe may not be created by God comes to your mind. This imagine, of course, it is not that, it is not confirming unbelief. That is what the author will say. To imagine abuse is not abuse. It means, no. My belief is not so certain. That's why the alternative comes to my mind. No, for according to a logic, and imagining is not a judgment, not confirmation. It comes to you, you reject it. Because belief is, or expected to believe, to be based on the process of La ilaha illallah. That is what real belief is all about. What does it mean? You thought about it. You said, can this thing come into existence as perfect as it is by a result of accidental happenings? How many times it was repeated regardless? accidental happenings result is accident, chaos. Cannot be established in a planned, perfectly functioning way. And it is not the only one thing. All the things around it have the same qualities as perfectly adjusted to the rest of the creation of the whole universe. Impossible. It must be the act of a conscious being. That is my judgment. But as soon as I say, illallah, definitely Allah is the Rabbul Alameen, must be the creator, arranger, or maintainer, sustainer of this universe, including this particular piece that I am interacting with now, thinking about its existence. So this is my judgment. So opposite is inevitably opposite idea. La ilaha illallah is accompanied with la ilaha again. So this la ilaha, it means, can this maybe, can this be, or can the other one be? The people say this is just evolved accidentally by itself. But belief has such a quality that it must be established through going la ilaha. So all la ilaha is rejected by my own judgment. So when they come to my mind, who cares? Because I have already rejected them. But one problem, if I don't experience this process that the Quran teaches me, human quality also teaches me that I have to see if this thing can happen by itself or not, and then come to the conclusion. If I had gone through this process, definitely this imagination never, ever has any effect on me, although it happens. Now, that is very important. I would just say then, abuse is a judgment. I'm not really making a judgment that the thing can come into existence by attributing anything other than the creator of this universe. This process is extremely important. That is why Quran keeps repeating this process, that believers must go through this and apply it in their life. So if belief, confirmation, or judgment occurs, then whatever comes to your mind, just ignore it. That will come. When they come, don't think that, oh, something is really a sign that I may be still suspicion about my judgment. Don't do that. It is baseless. Okay, the explanation continues in the book. Moreover, those ugly words are not the words of your heart, because your heart is saddened and sorry at them. Why this trash idea comes to my mind? Not because my heart is not satisfied, because it is the result of, if you like, nature of human being a human being, created being. So don't be saddened, don't feel sad what happened to you because it came to your mind. Rather, they come from the inner faculty situated near the heart, which is a means of satanic whisperings. We keep repeating, Satan represents in the Quran the baseless, uncreated ideas, options, in order to give us the opportunity to confirm what is right as compared to what is wrong. So it is just a criterion to make sure that we are absolutely satisfied with the right answer. So it has to be there. That's why the text says near the heart, which is a means of Satan, as a faculty, and if you like, a character or human nature. The means of satanic whispering is always happens next to the heart, means your judgment, your conviction. It will come next to it. So the harm of scruples, these doubts, suspicions, or disturbing feelings or alternative ideas is nothing but imagination. So if you think that imagination came to your mind is harmful, then it becomes harmful. Why? You are suffering from non-existent imagination, and then you are not realizing that it is a non-existent imagination. You are thinking as if it has a real effect in your heart. No, it can't, because it doesn't exist. It is not real. Don't worry about it. But if you worry about it, it becomes a serious matter. That is very, helpful to me to understand how to deal with it. It will come, doesn't matter. It is because of human nature is created in this way. That is inevitable. Let it come. I don't care, because I already decided what my conclusion is. Finish. So it is to suffer from harm, from harm in the heart through imagining them to be harmful. That is why it becomes serious. For imagining the scruples to be reality is only an imagination which is developed which is devoid of judgment, which is not based on judgment. Feriha says, can you please give some examples so it is understandable? Okay, the example. I conclude that nothing can come into existence as a result of accident. All right? And I came across a video. Nowadays, people are busy with videos, watching videos here and there, or going to some people's sites. There they see a scientist speaking, saying that we definitely understood as a result of our laboratory tests, etc., and the life of the things can come into existence by accident. But soon we are going to develop a source of life as a result of some chemical activities. You say, my belief is gone now, because it may be true. Oh, so I feel not very secure. If they prove it, what will happen to me? All my belief will go into nothing, or I will lose my belief. Worrying now. Although you must be sure about your own conclusion so far that nothing can happen accidentally in the world. Everything is arranged by the creator of the universe. So you say, okay, they say this, None of my business. They claim everything because they know. We have to know that they claim anything by making it in an unknown future in the past, in the future, unknown result in the future, as well as unknown past before the creation of the universe, before the existence of the universe. There may be some other universes. Any evidence? No evidence. Because they say, our mathematical equations necessitated. Any evidence? No. Mathematical equations have lots of assumptions, lots of um, how do you say, what was the word for it? Approximations. So you cannot really see the tricks there. So they can do lots of approximations and claim that the universe could come into existence if only the possibility is 10 power to minus 162 or 164, some scientists claimed. I don't know what they claim now, but when I was busy with this kind of claims, what did they say? But 10 to power minus 162 seems to be a big number, but what they were claiming that time, decades ago, that possibility happened. So how do you know? That is your calculation. And this calculation, I know some of my friends said, these kind of calculations are mostly made up by approximations. That is why this number comes up. Otherwise, impossible. Impossible. Anyways, but if we didn't know that, I may feel that, oh, my belief is not really certain because these options came to me and I said, it may be true because these people are experts on the subject. I'm not, which is true. So if they say this, it may be true. All right. This is, I don't know whether it makes sense. Any kind of suspicion and doubt about our conclusions should be just rejected because I'm not confirming it. Especially this part is very important. Because your heart is saddened and sorry at these imaginations. If what they claim may come true, do you think I would lose my belief in God and then the consequences really severe? No, if you are sure about your conclusion, these kind of imaginative ideas must come to you and you are not responsible for it. Don't worry about it. That's so simple. There will be another matter that acceptance of our prayers, it will be dealt in the following paragraphs, inshallah. Also, it is to attribute to the heart of Satan's work. To suppose these words to be from it. Such a person thinks it is harmful. So it becomes harmful. If you think that to remember this, this idea, the opposite idea comes to my mind, is harmful. And then if you think that it is really harmful, I should have no doubt at all about my belief. But some people say something, I feel shaky. Then if you cannot confirm them, or if you don't confirm them deliberately, then it is not harmful. Forget about it because you are not convinced about it. Whereas you must be convinced in your conclusion in belief in God. That is anyway. So if you think that it is harmful, this is what Satan wanted. So you fell into the trap of Satan and say that I am not really sure about my belief. Why? Alternative idea comes to me, to my mind, to my heart, to my feelings, whatever. Second aspect, if you have more comment on it, H-based, what is the purpose of the doubt in such a case then? Is it for me to ignore, reject, or to investigate if I haven't already done so? The problem is this, H-based, if I have not established my belief on investigation, and I just follow the culture, of course, I cannot be sure. It cannot be my judgment. Then the problem is with me, not with the doubt. No, the problem is with me that I am a believer with no reason. That is not doubt. That is the result of baseless belief or baseless claim that my belief is well established on evidence, reasoning. So doubt is useful in this way that it motivates me to investigate what my conclusion is based on, what evidence I have. Otherwise, if I have not gone through investigation and conclude that definitely this universe must have a creator, but this investigation must be done through the method that the Quran teaches us. What is that? La ilaha first. These things cannot come into existence by themselves. There is nothing in this world which has knowledge, power, will to exercise, think about the future, has a purpose in its existence, to choose what is right in order to fulfill this purpose, make everything perfect. So have an intention to make conscious conclusions in my existence. It means fulfill the purpose of my existence. The fundamental parts of this universe is just matter. No mind, no choice, no power, no knowledge, nothing. Just matter. They exist as they are created. That's it. That's it. I have to go through this simple process of rejection of any kind of deity can be found in the universe. And then think about it, how the universe established in this perfect way, within a perfect order, everything is perfect in its existence, functioning perfectly as they are created. Then there is no room for doubt for this conclusion, so that there should be no subject of doubt. Doubt is the initial point in order to establish what I should or how I should explain my existence. For this initial part, I need doubt. It is inevitable not to have doubt in this case, but Doubt is not judgment. Doubt is a stimulus, if you like, a motivative for me, or motivating factor for me to investigate. But after coming to the concluding illallah, then doubt, suspicion is pointless. I shouldn't take notice of it because I have already confirmed it and I am sure of it. I have my own evidence. Of course, even I have my own evidence, and established my faith on it, still this doubt, suspicion comes to my mind. We are dealing with the second type of suspicion here, or doubt here. After making a judgment, it means deciding illallah, or deciding there must be a hereafter, deciding this universe is really meaningful, and the representative of this meaningful side of universes is called angel. So they are called angels. So these, or for example, since my conclusion is true and I'm convinced, I got this conclusion from the Quran, so Quran must be a true book. And the one, whatever it says, I confirm. So the one who brought this message to me, as he claimed to be the prophet, messenger of the Creator, it must be so. So I am confirming the messengership of Muhammad, although I haven't not seen him, because I have seen what I have in my hand, what he has presented to me as saying, I received it from my Creator, and it is not my projection. And if I investigate it, I will definitely comfortably understand that the information in it cannot be really devised or fabricated by a human being. Impossible, so true. As the time changes, as the reality of creation is unclosed, disclosed, uncovered, the claim of the Quran becomes confirmed. Nothing goes against the claim of the Quran as we discover more and more how the universe works. So all the fundamental principles of articles of belief can be confirmed comfortably after questioning it. So if someone didn't question, that is another problem. He has to question first. But here we are talking about a person who reached the conclusion that, yes, that is the only way to explain the existence of this huge, perfect universe. And then doubt comes, of course. It should come. It should come, it should accompany. That is the requirement of human nature. We shouldn't bother about this second part. Now, anymore, so second aspect I'm going. So I will read the paragraph first because we have already somehow established the principle of dealing with the scruples or suspicions. That's why I will read it quickly. It is this, the cure, second aspect, the cure, in another aspect of the cure. When meanings arise in the heart, they enter the imagination stripped of form. It has no reality, but just abstract notion. It is there that they are clothed in an image or form. Where? In the heart. In the heart, it takes a form now. That image gets a form. The imagination always affected by some cause, which means weaves, public, I mean, how would they say, weaves, yeah, you know, to weave, weaves images of a sort. It means makes as if something really there. But all the, if you like, strings of the weaves are imagination. It lives on the way now. It lives on the way the images of the things to which it gives importance, or it looks like their real existence. So whatever meaning passes through it, it either clothes it or wears it or taints it or veils it. It means whatever imagination comes through this process, they get as if real existence. Or, for example, comes to my mind, some people do that. They send the child through school bus, right? And of course, it is human imagination which allows human beings to imagine that the bus now might have involved into an accident. Is it possible? Yes, it is. Might have. But percentage of might have? Millions, a millionth, 1 out of 1,000,000. If it was the bus as if the accident happened, if it was the bus where my son or daughter is in, and if he died there, and then take the telephone, say, oh, my son, somebody, or call them, Ahmed, how are you? With the fire. Look, imagination, and no reality. There is no sign that the bus has involved into an accident. Just comes to my mind because it is possible. It is possible doesn't mean that it happened. But just say it is possible. Everything is possible in this world. Why should I be affected under the influence of this possibility, which is, I mean, this word, especially nowadays, the media exploits this human sensitivity so much. There are 7 billion people in the world. 1 or 2 events might have happened to some people, and the news flashes in front of our screen, on the screen in front of our eyes. One man stolen the baby from home while mother was sleeping. Mother says, if the baby is here, if I fall asleep, oh, it is possible that someone might have can steal my baby. Can I sleep? But this happened once a year, maybe once in a decade, among 7 billion people, only once. And it happened once. It doesn't mean that it will happen to you now and you will lose your sleep. That is something the really media plays with the sensitive side of human beings, and they have their political agenda, which is not our subject here. They want to put the fear in this, in the minds of people, fear of this kind of things, so that they have to trust authorities. That is political maneuver. We should be very careful. That's why they make a big flash news about it. Okay. Whatever meaning passes through it, through this imagination, through the heart, it either clothes it or wears it, or taints it, or veils it. It means really seems to be a real event. If the meanings are pure and clean, and the images dirty and base, there is no clothing, but there is contact. It means you have this sensitivity, and this idea just came and touched, contacted your feelings. The man with scrupulous, this man, everything not feel secure in his real existence, and always keeps imagining the things, confuses this contact, with being as if real in his heart. Really, it is happening. He explains Allah's, you know the word Allah's, all the old word, I didn't know, I learned from translations of the book. No one uses this word anymore. Or, oh my God, how corrupted my heart has become. It means I imagine unbelief. And as if I'm giving a chance to unbelief. If I didn't give a chance to unbelief, it should not come to my mind. It means I am a corrupt man. You see, that is the disease. That is a problem. The lowness has made me despicable. It means, how can I imagine that denial of God may be possible? I must be a corrupt man. Satan takes advantage of this vein of this weakness, human weakness. The cure for such a wound is as follows. Listen. Oh, you anxious person. Just as outward cleanliness, it is very good example. Outward cleanliness, which is the means to the correct conduct of your prayer. Now, you have to have clean dress on you, and you have to make your wudu. That is it. That is what you are ready now to perform your prayers. This outward cleanliness is not affected by the uncleanness of the inside of your inner organs, intestines, and is not spoiled by it. There is something in my stomach, in this intestine. I think it is called intestine. Yeah. So the sacred meanings being close to unclean forms doesn't harm them. It doesn't mean that, I would say, I am clean now, I have to start my prayer, Allahu Akbar. It comes to my mind that I must have something in my body, dirty, these despicable things, dirty things. So how can I communicate with God while carrying this dirt? Let me go to the bathroom. It is not the solution. It is nothing to do with you. It is how your nature is. You have to accept it. That's it. You are responsible for what you can do with your clothes, body, cleanliness. For example, you are reflecting on some divine signs when suddenly you feel ill, or an appetite or a stimulation like a need to pass water. It means go to the bathroom. Now you are reflecting on divine signs in a creation. Suddenly you feel that you need to go to the bathroom, and dirty things, what is going on in the bathroom, comes to your mind. Of course, your imagination will see whatever is necessary to cure the ill or answer the need, and will look at it. So you have to, the toilet matters comes to your mind. We lowly forms appropriate to them. It means just imagination now gets into a as if physically existing being. And the meanings that arise will pass between them. It means while you are thinking of what will happen in the toilet, you are reflecting on a beautiful thing that's saying that, Alhamdulillah, God, I am very thankful to you. But while you are saying, I am very thankful to you, oh my Creator, oh my owner, oh my God, of course, the imaginative things comes to your mind, what will happen in the bathroom. It is human. You think that, I dirtied my relationship with my Creator. No, the author will say, but there is no harm in their passing, nor soiling, or no error, no injury. It is the reality which will happen in the bathroom, and you are just reflecting on the wonderful creation of the creation in this world and communicating with the Creator. Alhamdulillah, oh my Creator, you created it. They are completely different things, but in your imagination, they contact to each other. While you are thanking God, the things in the bathroom, toilet comes to your mind. No. If there is any mistake, it is in paying them attention and imagining the harm. If there is anything really mistake wrong in this attitude, is that you're imagining that this is coming to your mind, what will happen in the bathroom while you are really praying God or presenting your thankfulness, gratefulness to God. They come next to each other. It is contacting each other, but not really getting into the way. So I think there will be an example here, or I don't know how I remember this. For example, you may have a window, a small window, let's say, to make it a better example. A small window, you are watching the sky. On the glass of the window, there are some dirty things on the glass. Of course, some stains or some dirt on it. When you look at the stars, beautiful stars, it appears to have some dirt there. It doesn't mean that this dirt on the glass really dirtied the stars. Example, or beautiful garden. You are looking at a beautiful garden, but there are some dirt there. No, you go through it, but the garden is as perfect as it is. It is not affected by your dirty glass. Dirty glass is dirty glass, the dirt on the glass, nothing to do with the garden. So you can still say the existence of this garden is perfect. It is not dirty at all. My glass is dirty, it doesn't matter. That is some sort of explanation of the imagination, has nothing to do with the real world. Third aspect. It's a long one, but let me read it. It is this. There are certain hidden connections between things. There are even the threads of connections between things you least expected. They are either there is fact or your imagination made them according to the art with which it was preoccupied and tied them together. It is due to this mystery of connections that sometimes seeing a sacred thing calls or evokes to mind a dirty thing. That is very human, we said. Now, a sacred thing calls or evokes to our mind, a dirty thing, because everything is known with its opposites. As stated in the Science of Rhetoric, now it says, although opposition is the cause of distance in the outer world, it is the cause of proximity in imagination. Now, you can easily imagine, let's say Washington is there, Chicago is on the west-north side, while you are staying in New York. So you cannot get Washington and Chicago cities together, but in your imagination, you can put next to each other. It is possible. It is imagination. Why not? That is, an imagination connection is the means of bringing together the images of two opposites. Imagination can bring two opposite things together. The recollection which arises from this connection is called the association of ideas. This is a kind of rhetoric principles of rhetorics explanation. For example, while performing the prayers or reciting supplications before the Kaaba in the divine presence, this association of ideas takes hold of you and drives you to the furthest, lowest trivia and insignificant things, although you are reflecting on Quranic verses. Some dirty things may come to your mind. For example, you need to go to the bathroom and you start imagining urine or something. If your head is afflicted with association of ideas in this way, beware. Don't alarm. Be careful. No, it comes, it's very human. Rather, the moment you come to your senses, it means when you say, no, it is just imagination, turn back. Don't say, I have done a great wrong while I am in the presence of God. I start imagining or thinking urine. Oh, what an irrespectful relationship. No. Don't say, I've done a great wrong. Don't say that. It is not wrong. And keep playing with trigger, lest through your attention that tenuous, unsubstantial connection strengthens. The more you pay attention, that connection becomes stronger. If you say it's normal, human, but I remember urine, yes, I'm going to the bathroom, it will happen there. Why now I am reflecting on the meaning of the verse, or I am just supplicating God for the moment. So, for the more you feel regret, oh, why these dirty things keep coming to my mind and feel regret, the more importance you give it, and that faint memory of yours becomes ingrained, really becomes a part of your heart, as if it is a part of your heart, but you are under the influence of this imagination. Now, it becomes an imaginary sickness. It is not real sickness, but you feel sick, you feel disappointed, you feel pain, that why these dirty things come to my mind when I intend to communicate with my God. The more importance you attach, the stronger it becomes. And it becomes a sickness or illness at the end. Don't be frightened. It is not a sickness of the heart. It is your imagination. This sort of recollections mostly involuntary. You didn't choose it. You didn't really mean it, especially in sensitive, nervous people. It is more common. So we have to relax. While I am praying, I found myself, that is my reality, by the way, I find myself wondering about something, nothing to do with my prayer at all. And I remember, hey, what am I doing now? I'm praying. I'm just really communicating with my creator. My tongue reads where my mind goes somewhere else. That is how I am. Maybe you are experiencing the same thing. Don't worry about it. Come back and concentrate on what you. Why I lose my attention in my connection with God? Do you think this trivial matters, the worldly things, more important than communicating with my Creator? What a corrupt man I am. What a corrupt heart I have. Keep yourself busy. You will never be in the presence of God anymore. You lost your energy. That is, we have to feel comfortable. Okay, that time passed. From now on, I will continue concentrating on my relationship with my God in my prayer. So Satan works the mind of this sort of scruple. It means suspicious people, or imagine the people who live in imaginative world, a great deal. That it means Satan really uses it. To cure for this wound is as follows. Okay, let me see this. I think we had enough explanation. The association of the ideas is mostly involuntary. Ideas. You didn't particularly decide to remember while I am communicating with my Creator. Yeah, I will keep doing my planning for tomorrow. What should I do? Because that is also important. For example, no one does this. So it is involuntary. You didn't want it. The best sign is you are really sorry for it. One is not answerable for it. You are not really responsible for it. Your mind may go. Just as soon as you remember, come back. In associating, there is proximity. Just proximity. No, there is no touching or intermingling. There's not really involving in your relationship with your, for example, in the prayer, in your relationship with your Creator. It is something external came to your imagination. Therefore, the nature of the ideas don't pass to one another or don't harm one another. Just as Satan and the angel of inspiration being proximity to one another around the heart. Yes, we said at the very beginning, what the angelic side of human feelings acknowledges the truth, Satan immediately accompanies it as a counterpart of it, next to it, and says, be careful, you may not be sure, how can you? And then this kind of question marks. So it is just proximity, not really real judgment. And sinners and pious being close to another in the same house cause no harm. So let's say I am here. Let's say, hopefully, I am a pious man. Let's say, symbolically speaking. And there is, maybe some more better example is, I am on the subway train. So there is a person who is really doing something or watching something nasty in his telephone. And I am here, I say, Alhamdulillah, I am not like this person. Sitting next to it, it doesn't really harm me. It is not my choice, but that is subway conditions, and I cannot go away and find a secure place anytime I want. No, if there's an opportunity, of course, I will use it. So this, his being next to me doesn't harm me. So too, if at the prompting of the association of ideas, dirty imaginings come and enter among clean thoughts, they cause no harm. They cause no harm. With one condition, unless it is intentional. It means there is somebody who is really watching a dirty, this weird videos. And if you keep watching it together with it, and you are saying, oh, no, it is interesting, that is intentional. Unless it is intentional, or just by imagining them to be harmful, one is over-occupied with them intentionally. And sometimes the heart becomes tired. I am a bad man if it is not intentional. And the mind occupies itself with anything it encounters in order to entertain itself. So then Satan finds an opportunity. So we shouldn't keep our mind busy with them. Satan finds an opportunity and scatters dirty things before it and eggs it on. It means encourages towards it. Yes, you are really corrupt. You have no reason to be in front of God, because your heart is really spoiled, corrupt heart. How can you really communicate with this corrupt heart with your God? And keep away from it. That is what Satan wants. Inshallah, I don't know whether it was useful. I mixed up with my explanations, but inshallah, we will be benefiting from it and keep our present time, present situation as we decide to have it, and we stick to it. Whatever comes, we stuck to it. And whatever comes to our mind in the form of imagination, involuntary things, and as this says, unintentional things, we should not really pay attention to it. Especially it happens while we are praying, while we are reciting, or really communicating with God, invoking God about something that we are expressing our needs to Him. We have to be very careful. Everything can come to our mind. We should not pay attention to it and just ignore it. That's so simple, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Any comment, question? Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم إن الحمد لله